Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Uncharted 3 Brutal Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Chapter 9, it's called The Middle Way, and Charlie is attacking us. So, I don't really know the triggers of this fight at all. I don't know how you stop it quickly, I don't know how you get past it quickly. All I know is that it lasts longer than you think it would. So he's going to try and kill us. When he grabs you, you want to do the circle counter. When he does the counter attack, you want to do the triangle. And you can either choose to back away from him, or you can choose to attack him. And at first, I wasn't really doing too much, and then I went in for a couple of punches, and it seemed to trigger these moments where I was interacting with him. So in my eyes, potentially the quickest way of doing this is to force these interactions, because I think it might take X amount of slaps to get him back to his senses, but you know you've done it because it does this choking section. But just be aware, a lot of his counters have 2 hits, so there are times where you can press counter once, and if you go to try and attack him, he'll just hit you with a second hit, and it does a lot of damage because we're on brutal, so it's going to put you to really in a bad spot, and you don't want to get hit. That 2-hit combo there is death. It's a death sentence. But this is not a difficult section, guys. If anything, it's good practice for Talbert, because against Talbert, you're going to be in moments where you need to understand the distinction between pressing triangle, circle, and square. And if you don't have that skill set by the time you get there, he might be difficult. I remember rather vividly, this is the end, by the way, guys. Once you get here, there's nothing you can do except for watch it, and it'll end. But on my crushing walkthrough, Talbert was quite tricky because I just didn't have a full grasp of the mechanics of the fighting, and I don't know why I didn't, because I don't think it's particularly deep or that mechanically challenging. It's just I didn't have the same head that I do now for looking at it, and I came back to this game having played a lot of games. It's been a couple of years. We did it, what was it, 2011? We've done a lot of things on YouTube since then, so when I went back to it, it made so much more sense to me because it was just really simple. So when I get to Talbot on this walkthrough, I'm going to beat him in like 30 seconds and he doesn't even touch me. And it's such a contrast between how I used to play this game and how I play it now. But the puzzle here, guys, you want to come up onto this second floor, you want to light these effigies, these idols, whatever they are, these awesome looking statues with the kindling going up their backs, and then once you've lit all of them, a door on this floor is going to open and you want to just go through that. It does these close-ups on this map, but if you'll notice, this is the door you need to go through. So once you're through here, we're going to be doing some homages to the mummy and the wonderful scarab beetles, even though technically in this game they're spiders. But the gaming conceit is the same. Don't be where these things are, is the premise here. And throw these torches to light these braziers along our way, these wonderful Olympic flames. Which is quite topical because the Olympics is happening right now in Rio, and it's pretty damn awesome. So once you've chucked that one over there, we're going to be making kind of a challenging jump, which is going to lead me to some criticisms of this game. Right, did you see what was happening then when Nathan was running towards the end of that lip? Did you see how he was doing things, he was moving, he was alternating speed a little bit, he was doing all these dynamic animations that these games are quite famous for. I don't like them. I think they're wonderful to make the game look realistic, to make the game look awesome and super immersive and natural. I think they look great, but mechanically they affect how you play. When he fucks about, alternating speed when you run with him and touching walls and stuff, it takes momentum away from you so you can miss important jumps and die. And it really bothers me. It bothers me profoundly. And it happens a lot in these games. It happens in the first game, it happens in this game. Like, it happens in all of them. They have this honesty and commitment towards animations where they want everything to be weighted and given character, but it takes away and detracts from mechanics and makes it difficult. More difficult than it would have been if it wasn't the case. As we come up to this machine, press triangle and flood this area with water. And I've expressed the same criticism with the aiming. When you're in cover, gripping onto a ledge, a la Uncharted 4's entire cover system, when you go to aim up, the time it takes you to get your gun on and your reticle be visible and have human reflexes to see the reticle and start moving it is more frames than it takes the computer to kill you on Brutal. And that's a problem. It's a problem because no matter how fast you are, or how fast you think you are, they're faster than you. Every time. The only times where they're not faster than you is where they let you get away with murder, and it happens a lot in this game. There will be moments when you watch this, folks, and you'll be like, well, that's not how my game happened. That's not what happened for me. You know, I got killed instantly. So did I. You're watching the one time where they didn't kill me instantly, and I was able to be a little greedy, or I was able to get those shots off. And that's what Brutal is. Brutal is just this sequence of moments where the computer lets you win. There are a lot of sections where you beat the computer, and it's 100% you brutalizing them. But for a lot of sequences, there is so much luck involved, it's almost out of your hands. Like, some of the worst sections you'll come up against in this entire game, and in the first game, are moments where it's not up to you who wins. And those are the sections that I really don't understand. And there's a wonderful sequence coming up. Is it just after this? I guess you'll find out when we watch. I think after we walk up here, which I should have trimmed this out because it's needless. You see him touch the wall though then. It's a great touch, isn't it? It adds character, but there are times when it affects mobility. It's the run that does me though. There are times when he kind of just like it's very realistic. He does this thing where instead of running normally, he kind of, I don't know if he loses his balance a little bit or if it's just a little flair to the animation, but it slows him down. And in the first game, because the jump is so sensitive... oh, by the way, guys, don't even look at this video right now. This doesn't mean anything. You see what's happening here? I'm amazing, aren't I? I'm the best player on the planet. Nobody can shoot me. I'm bulletproof. I'm 50 Cent. You've got to put 20 shots in me to put me down. No, it's bullshit. That entire sequence is utter luck. You'll be there for 5, 10, 50 minutes. It all depends on if the game lets you through. My advice is just... don't take it too seriously and have something to distract you so you don't get mad. This is also incredibly difficult, so jump off the roof, get the quick time to kill him, put on a gun, and then we'll begin the siege of this really bad position. So there's two guys on your right, there's two guys behind these guys, and to your left there's a dude who's going to shoot, who's the person who makes this difficult. There's also a shield person who's going to come if you push too far to the right, so I'm going to stay exactly where I am. And my hope here is grenades. I want them to throw grenades at me so I can throw the grenades back. But you need to be aware, guys, if you mess up a grenade throw, you're dead, because him to the left on the drawbridge, he's going to shoot you the moment you go out of cover because that's all he's designed to do. There's your second grenade, toss that back. The gun I have on is wonderful, but it's only going to shine if we can get into a cover that I can exploit. So right now, I want to get rid of him. So I pop up, I do not take my time, because if I do I'm dead. He drops the grenade, he's now dead, and I'm going to start moving to the right so I can get rid of these people. There's an interesting checkpoint here. If you can kill those guys in the background, and the guys who are just in this courtyard with you, you will get a checkpoint. I did not notice that this was how this mechanic worked, so you're going to see a really harsh transition between me getting this sequence now, and getting killed later on, and being put in a place I never went to. But I'm going to thin these guys out and I'm going to push up to the pillar. You notice how I've never moved? So the shield guy's never turned up. I don't know if he's timed. I think he's triggered. So I'm going to try and get rid of everybody before I push forward. And I'm going to try and click this guy. Because your teammates will help here. They won't help as much as they did in the first two games. Because when people get shot in Uncharted 3, for some reason, they don't dance like they did in the other games. In this game, they just... it's ridiculous. I've already mentioned it. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger in Raw Deal. He just doesn't feel bullets. But I'm pushing up to try and clip this dude, and I believe once I clip him... yeah, there's your checkpoint, guys. So this is where it puts you when you die. It puts you in this piece of cover, and my advice is... get lucky. Because getting to this piece of cover that I'm on is entirely up to the computer. I died just moving from that piece of cover where the checkpoint put me to this pillar maybe 5 or 6 times because I got instantly brutaled. And that's what it is, you get brutal, because there are moments where the second you come out of cover, you're just dead. And I don't know how I feel about it sometimes, because there are other moments when it doesn't happen, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is in Uncharted 1, which is great news. This is the shield dude. If you've got grenades, he's a piece of piss. If you don't, you want to trim his feet or his arm. And once he's dead, there's going to be a guy up on the second tier inside that castle, or inside that keep, I'm not too sure what that is. I'm getting screwed by clipping on the chain here, you see this? That is a collision that's been detected on the chain's modelling that stops the bullets, so shoot low on his leg and you'll circumvent that. And only thing left to do now, guys, is make sure there's nobody left in that room and try and get as much ammo as you can as you push forward. A little bit of a warning here. You're about to watch me shit my pants and run for my life. That's what I would call it, because I'm going to go into this room and there's going to be people spawning on me, and if it wasn't for the fact I had a micro Uzi, and I've seen that fantastic scene in, is it Crank 2? Where he gets in that limo and starts murdering people with that automatic weapon and it looks wonderful. Makes me sound sadistic, doesn't it, that? But it's actually really, really beautiful to look at, minus the death of a human being. But once you push in here, there's going to be a checkpoint, no doubt, but I didn't have volume on at the moment, and as soon as I saw him, I'm like, shit, another guy comes down, shit, and just look how dominant this Uzi is. I don't know why Nathan pointed the gun to the left then, that was weird. But do you see that? That was all blind fire, and that's the end of that sequence. So, sometimes you get really fortunate by putting yourself in a bad spot, other times not so much. But all you have to do now, pick up more ammunition, get ready for the next fight, because it's another tricky one. But we've got a good spot for this, and the distinction between the last fight where we got thrown into the middle of those lions and this one is that we get to be the lions this time. So you see this rock here to my left? I'm going to use this to snipe pretty much everybody who's at the crest of this walkway. And there's nothing they can do, because if you're accurate and you're good with the guns, you're going to kill everybody without having any issue, because they can't hit me. They can't put me under pressure, they can't do any kind of suppression. There's nothing they can do. It's literally, I am the video game and they are DSP right now. They can't do shit. I'm just going to stop everything that they want to do. And unfortunately this Heavy is another victim of this. He can't do a thing, because I'm just going to keep peppering him. He's going to keep trying to move forward. And this ain't Uncharted 1 where you get those magic pellets through cover, so you're not shooting me, son, with that shotgun. And then his buddy's just up there, who I'm going to clip his face off. And you need to be careful now, guys, because when you run up here, there's going to be a bunch of guys on that opposite turret there, that opposite, is it parapet, I think they're called? On these palisades or whatever they are, and I get killed by them, so you're going to see a pretty interesting transition, because I thought it was clear. So I'm running up here, and then the transition happens just up the top of this. You see that transition? I got killed by these guys. I did not realise they were there, so I was picking up ammo, and I got instantly brutal. So this is going to be me. You don't have to kill these people, you can ignore them, but this is a bit of pride right here. So I'm going to throw a grenade at our friends and have a nice little victory skip to the rest of the level. But there's so many moments in these campaigns where you're going to be forced to push up to either trigger a spawn, or to see if anybody's still alive, or just to move forward because you think it's clear, and it's not. And those moments are the worst, because you can sit behind cover, eking your way forward over the span of a few minutes, or you can be ballsy and pay the price. I can't tell you how many times I thought I'd cleared out an entire room, and I'd run forward, and I've got shot by one dude off in a corner being a dick, and then I've gone to the beginning of the fight and lost all the progress. It's one of those things where usually I would say to you that it's bullshit, it needs a better checkpoint, it's miserable, it's not fair, insert whatever, complaint and grievance you might have. But because I've been doing something on God Hand that's probably the hardest thing I've ever done, I don't look at it like that anymore, because it's not as bad as God Hand, and it's one of those interesting caveats to my response now to difficulty where I'm actually having a pretty easy time with a lot of things. But that's only, obviously, when you compare it to the majesty that is God Hand. So thank you for watching, and you take care now.